What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Soul Vice. Thanks for joining me once again. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I am extremely excited to finally be reviewing for you guys the Air Max 90 in the reverse duck camo colorway. I'll be giving you an in-depth review on these. I'm gonna let you know exactly what I think about them, and I'm gonna let you know about all the incredible details that I think you should know about the Air Max 90 reverse duck camo before you decide whether or not this is a shoe you wanna cop for yourself. But before we get to that, if you're somebody who loves sneakers, you love on-feet footage of sneakers, reviews of sneakers, which I'm assuming you do or else you wouldn't be here, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and smash that notification bell. That way you're notified when I post new videos just like this one. And we've got a very busy week coming up for the channel. I've actually got 3 different live cops that I'm gonna be doing with you guys. Starting off on October 14th, we've got the women's Air Jordan 1 High OG in the Lucky Green colorway. The next day on the 15th, we've got the Kobe 5 Protros. And then on the 16th, the drop that I am looking forward to the most, we've got our final chance to cop the Union Air Jordan 4s for retail. And that's of course releasing alongside the Jordan Delta Mids and the Air Zoom 92s. Now, the Air Jordan 4s are only releasing in the Off Noir colorway. The Guava Ice pair were a Union LA exclusive, as well as some of the items from the apparel, but we are gonna have most of the apparel available as well. We had a ton of fun in the Union LA drop, so I know we're gonna have a lot of fun with the sneakers drop, so definitely stay locked onto the channel. We're gonna have 3 live cops coming up, and you're not gonna wanna miss them. The more people we get in the chat, the better our chances are of copying. And then one last thing before we get to the review, you can always check in the description below as well as in the playhead. You're gonna see all the individual pieces of the video timestamped out. So if you're looking for something specific like the sizing or the comfort or something along those lines, you can always get in, get what you're looking for and get out and save yourself a little bit of time. Or if you're like me, you can always kick back and relax from the beginning of the video all the way to the end to get my complete thoughts about the shoe. Either one's fine with me. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the review. Now, like I said earlier, I am super stoked that I finally have these in hand to review for you guys. I know it's a little bit late, but like they always say, better late than never. Long story short, there was a contest at my 9-to-5 job. I ended up winning, and they said as a prize, basically just pick whatever you want in the $250 or less price range, and we'll buy it for you. So you know exactly what I did. I hopped on GOAT, I hopped on StockX, I looked for whatever shoes I could find in that $250 price range, and lo and behold, these were exactly $250 in my size.
You tell a motherfucker that story, you should say, lo and behold. When a motherfucker say lo and behold, it makes me fucking react.
Oh, that is such a good observation.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, lo and behold, I gotta buy my old car new.
Now the story don't sound so far-fetched and shit.
And I was kind of between these and a few other pairs, but I eventually settled on these. And I'm extremely glad that I did. As soon as I got these in hand, I knew that this was the exact right pair to pick. I can't even express to you guys how much I like these. These are for sure one of my favorite pairs of the entire year. Now, these originally released back on March 26th for $140 US to celebrate Air Max Day. They released right along the brand new Air Max 2090 in a very similar colorway. If you guys want to check out the review of that, you can check up in the corner above or down in the description below. I did review those as well, and I ended up liking those, but these are obviously much better. And these are definitely a reverse colorway of the original Atmos colorway. Just take everything on this shoe that's infrared and flip it to black, vice versa, and you've got yourself the Atmos colorway. And I will say, however, this is my favorite colorway. I know that the Atmos pair is the hyped one. I know the StockX and GOAT and whatever prices are through the roof on those, but honestly, if I had to pick between the two, this is the pair that I would pick. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna think I'm crazy for saying that, and as a matter of fact, down in the comments below, let me know which pair do you like better. Do you like this flipped or reverse pair better, or do you like the original Atmos pair colorway? I say this pair is better, but let me know what you guys think below. So taking a look at the materials here, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the upper. The upper is constructed mostly out of mesh and suede with a little bit of rubber thrown in. Both the mesh and suede are high quality in my opinion. The mesh is this nice, like soft, but kind of heavyweight mesh. It's really like an old school feeling mesh. I'm a big fan of it. And that's where you're gonna see most of your infrared. And then the suede is this nice thick cut suede. Seems like it's gonna be very durable over time. It's done in this kind of like rough suede in a like kind of grass green which you have the camo print on top of that. So you've got your brown, a little bit of forest green, a little bit of lime green, all mixed together for your duck camo. And the cool thing about the suede is it continues up onto the tongue. You don't get a lot of suede tongues on Air Max 90s, so I definitely appreciate that detail. And there's one other piece of suede to note right down here on the tongue attachment under the laces. This is different than on the new colorways of the inverted duck camo that we had. So you had the orange pair and the ghost green pair. On both of those pairs, this was duck camo. On the infrared, it's black, and I actually prefer the black. I think it's just kind of like it offsets that duck camo a little bit. On the other pairs, I feel like there's just a little bit too much of the duck camo. Now there's one detail on these that I'm actually surprised that they kept from the Atmos pair, and it's this glossy black snakeskin Nike swoosh. And the reason I'm surprised about that is because Atmos is known, at least in their Nike collaborations, for using a lot of animal prints and textures. So when I heard that these were not going to be an Atmos collaboration, I was really worried that they were going to get rid of the snakeskin, but thankfully they didn't. It is here, and it is probably my favorite detail of this entire shoe. Now moving down to the midsole, you've got a primarily white midsole, but then here on your shark fin, at least that's what I always call this on Air Max 90s. I don't know what you call it, but I'm gonna call it a shark fin. You got a black shark fin, and then your air bubble is done in infrared. And then because this is a 90s runner, this midsole here is made out of EVA foam, which back then it got the job done. And even today, to be honest with you, I don't mind it. I think it's got a pretty nice ride. And that brings us to pretty much my favorite detail on any Air Max 90, this outsole. I mean, does it get any better than this? I don't think it does. I think this is the best outsole of all time, at least that I can think of right now. You're probably gonna hit me up with an outsole in the comment section below, and I'm gonna agree with you that it's better than this. But for right now, I'm gonna say this is the best outsole of all time. Yes, again, this is a 90s runner, so this is a rubber outsole. You've got all these huge knobs on here, very different than any current day runners. You've got these huge flex grooves, this zigzag pattern in kind of like the 4-foot heel-ish area, mostly infrared with these big black blocks on the outside. Again, I don't think it gets any better than this as far as outsoles go. So by now you're probably wondering how these fit. I went true to size and they fit perfect, just like pretty much every other Air Max 90. Now, if you're looking to cop these and you've never had a pair of Air Max 90s and you want to know for sure how they fit on you, the good thing is Air Max 90s are everywhere. So if you go to any local shoe store like a Foot Locker, Finish Line, Foot Action, Hibbett Sports, wherever you buy your shoes, they're gonna have probably at least one pair of Air Max 90s. And the good news is whatever size works for you there, it's gonna work for you on these. And obviously these are sold out, but if you want, you can check down in the description below. I'm gonna have the links to StockX and GOAT. Like I said, my pair was $250. So all the other pairs are right around there. So the next thing you probably wanna know is if they're comfortable or not. I kind of already mentioned a little bit earlier, this is an Air Max 90, as in 1990. So this is a 20-year-old shoe and none of the tech has really been updated on these. So no, they're not super comfortable. This is not like, you know, Element React or Zoom Pegasus Turbo 35s or whatever the heck those are called. They're not super comfortable. But as old 90s runners go, I actually think Air Max 90s are pretty comfortable. I can wear these for most of the day and my feet are gonna feel okay. They're just not gonna feel great. So just keep that in mind. This is an old pair of shoes. All right, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, hit that notification bell. If you're in the United States, make sure you go out and vote. We gotta make a change in this country and we can only do it if everybody's voting. And I'll catch you guys in the live cops in a few days. Later on.